Hello, I'm Byron Shaffner, and today you're going to get to know a little bit more about the Byronian Kingdom.
Hey everybody, my name is Desiree Mapp, and welcome to Getting to Know. We are on location today at the Duncanville Bookstore. Duncanville Bookstore is located at 101 West Camp Wisdom Road in Duncanville, Texas. If you are a lover of comics, collectibles, vintage, and modern, check them out. They got them. They're located on the web at DuncanvilleBookstore.com. So shout out to Brian and the good folks at Duncanville Bookstore for allowing us to take up some of your square footage. We promise to leave it exactly as we found it. For those of you who are new to Getting to Know is a show where if you run a small business, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a leader in your community, we want to get to know you. We want to get to know your business. We want to get to know the inspiration behind your business. But for today, we're going to get to know a warrior for the gospel. He is IronKingz. He is Frontline. He is also the president of the infamous Byronian movie crew. And we're gonna get into that. But listen, I can already tell you that I know that today is going to be one of my favorite shows. So get your popcorn ready and welcome to the show, everybody, Minister Byron Shaffner. Welcome to the show, Byron.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here.
Long time coming.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. And full disclosure, everybody, my husband and I have known Shaff, we call him Shaff, for about 6 years. So a lot of the stories that you may hear today, we've already familiar with, but you're in for a treat. Trust me when I tell you. So thank you for agreeing to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I just can't wait. I can't wait to share this with everybody. It's going to be a real treat. So we got a lot of ground to cover. So I just want to start at the beginning. Where are you from?
I'm from Dallas, born and raised.
Born and raised. Brothers, sisters?
Have one brother. Name is Jason. 4 years younger than me. Married. Children. Nice house. Lives in DeSoto. Everything except the white picket fence. Yeah. So. Okay.
We're in this bookstore today. It's a comic book store. Like I said, if you guys haven't, I encourage everybody to come check it out. I've never been in a place like this. I was happy when you agreed to do the interview. I thought this would be the perfect place for it because I know that you love comics, but you also love the gospel. And we're going to talk a little bit about both. But let's start with the comics. Where did that love come from?
You know, when I was a kid, I grew up watching the Adam West Batman, and in watching it, I just became a fan of comics. And even though I always loved Batman, I was more of a Marvel person. You know, the Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Avengers. And when my dad took me to see Star Wars when I was 6 years old, when I saw Star Wars on the big screen, that just started the whole action figure collecting buzz, if you will. And so it's been downhill but uphill ever since.
What's downhill?
Downhill is meaning I was on a path that I couldn't stop.
Okay.
Uphill is all the joys that I experienced along the way. And then when I found out about this place, I've actually been shopping here since I was 12 before with the old owners. And I've just seen the show evolve, and I've seen the whole evolution of the store, and I love this place. I'm serious, love it.
Speaking of love, I know you have a love for the gospel. How old were you when you were called to preach?
I believe I was 15 years old. It was at the end of my 9th grade year in high school. I had given my life to Christ somewhere around my 5th or 6th grade year. Really got serious about my faith in the 8th grade. And at the end of my 9th grade year, that's when God called me to preach. I know God doesn't make mistakes, but if there was ever a blessed mistake that he ever made, I thought it was when he called me to minister.
Now, you infuse comics and movies into most of your sermons. Is that something you've always done since the first message, or how did that come about?
Let me tell you this. I believe I believe that everybody has their own language. Like if you're into nature, you can go into the woods and get a revelation from God through nature that no one else can see but you, because that's what you like.
Yeah.
If you're into shoes, you can go into a shoe store and get a revelation about God through shoes, because that is your language.
Yeah.
This is my language. I've always liked comics and action figures and things like that. But what the common public doesn't realize about comics are just not for kids. Anyone who reads comics will see very quickly that there are a lot of adult themes and just life issues. You know, good versus evil, overcoming personal demons, if you will, to still serve a greater good, serving a purpose greater than yourself. There are so many spiritual themes that I can link to following Christ through comics. And so I've always done that. And it seems like the older I get, the more I do it. Yeah.
I follow you on Facebook. You and IronKingz Ministries on Facebook. And I noticed that some of your posts, you are a fan of shows and movies that are not Christian based. Okay. The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, yes.
Ninja Turtles, Transformers. How do you, what do you say to your critics who say you really shouldn't be,
now,
you know,
now I'm gonna tell you,
especially with the Walking Dead, because that's about zombies, right? I've never seen it, but
I'm gonna say this. God is so big and he's so sovereign that he can even use something that doesn't pertain to him to speak for him. Now, most people, they don't bother me when it comes to Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, but some like The Walking Dead, especially because it's so gory. But anybody who watches the show will see the show is really not about the zombies. And if you ever, those people who do follow me on Facebook, if you notice the things that I say about the show and about the gospel, they can't be denied. Like, for example, you know, zombies are the walking dead. Ephesians chapter 2 says, before we came to Christ, we were dead in our trespasses and sins. So we are like the walking dead.
Right.
And so, and then in the Walking Dead, the survivors are constantly trying not to get bit or trying not to be devoured. And in the world that we live in, sin will either make you like itself or it will devour you. So it's something we always have to fight against. And what I do is, you know, Jesus taught in parables. Jesus took things in everyday life that people could relate to and would use it to talk about the kingdom of God. I'm doing the same thing. And I guarantee you, most of the people that's into this kind of stuff, they may not come to church on Sunday morning. They may not come to a Bible study. But if I can somehow speak to them about the gospel in their own language, then I'll get a new audience. So that's what I do.
Speaking of going to church, you're the youth pastor at the Carrollton Chinese Church, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I've noticed something. I'm not sure if anybody else has noticed, but you're not Chinese.
No, I'm not. No.
So, how did that happen? And how long have you been the youth pastor? It's been a while, right?
I think I've been at CCC, well, Carrollton Chinese Church. I think I've been there about 5 going on 6 years. But what happened was, when I was living in Waco, working at a church, somehow the Baptist General Convention of Texas heard about me, and they wanted to do their first retreat for their Chinese students, and they needed a speaker. And so they asked me would I come and speak, and I'm like, I don't mind coming, but you all realize that I'm dark chocolate. And so they said, it doesn't matter, and just please come and speak. And when I spoke at that one event, there were other churches that were there, other Chinese churches, and when I spoke there, the floodgates opened. But it just goes to show you, underneath the skin, we're all the same. And we're all human. And as long as we're human, we'll always have a need for God. You
are a really, really good storyteller. Has anybody ever told you that?
No.
You're a very good storyteller. I remember one time, I'm not sure if we were just talking about, if I heard you preaching, you told a story about somebody who owned a snake, and the snake was sick, and they took the snake to the vet. Do you remember that story? Can you share that story with us for a second?
There was this woman who had a snake, I think it was like a boa constrictor or a python, and the snake was acting weird. And when the woman would go to sleep at night, there were a couple of nights she woke up, and the next day the snake would be out of its aquarium in the bed with her, and he would be stretched out as long as she was. And when she finally took the snake to the vet to see what was going on, the vet checked him out and said nothing was wrong, and so she was ready to leave and take her snake home. And the veterinarian told her, I can't let you take this snake home. And she said, why, what's wrong? She said, nothing's wrong with the snake, but what the snake is doing is, the snake is sizing you up when it lays next to you in bed because it plans for you to be its next big meal. So when he stretches out next to you in bed, he's actually measuring you to see if he can handle eating you. And I use that illustration in ministry a lot of times because that's exactly what happens. When a person gets to playing in sin and dealing with those things that are not of God, Satan is actually sizing them up to see the best way he can devour them.
I want to talk a bit about Duncanville Bookstore. You've hinted on that this place has been around for you since you were 12 years old.
Now,
right?
I started shopping here when I was 12, but it's been here long before that. Yeah.
What do you think are some of the misconceptions that people have about comics? I know you said that some people think that it's for children, but it's not.
Some of the misconceptions. Number one, that
I guess especially when it comes to like the collectibles, so like the figurines.
Number one, I think one of the greatest misconceptions that people have about this genre is that it's just for kids. Number two, that any adult that is into this type of stuff has a problem. I'm gonna tell you, if you go to a comic book show, you meet, and there are weird people in every walk of life.
Yes, there are.
But when you go to a show like this, I've met doctors, I've met people in the military, I've met people in high positions, and this is just what they like. And then when it comes to the action figures, people don't realize how much money is involved in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I saw one piece over there. It's going for $500, like a Transformer vintage.
Oh, a lot of the vintage stuff. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I'll tell you something else. At one of our shows, in the first 20 minutes of the first day of one of our shows, guy walks up, buys 4 comic books and pays $3 grand. So,
comic books like that?
Like that. So there's a lot of money tied up in this. And I'm gonna tell you this too, if there wasn't that much money tied up into it, and if there wasn't any value in it, the San Diego Comic-Con wouldn't be as big as it is.
Yeah.
Because you got everybody and their grandmother jumping on that bandwagon now. So yeah, you know, people think it's just for kids. People think if you're older and you're into it that something's wrong with you. No, it's just a growing, different genre that a lot of people like. And there's a good side and a bad side to everything. There's some people that obsess over this stuff. And then other people who, like me, who I just like it, you know.
But that's with anything.
Too
much of anything is not good.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And if you can figure out a way to make a living from it,
my goodness.
Yes. You get to be around what you love all day and get paid for it. How cool is that? So let's talk about IronKingz. So is IronKingz used to be Frontline, or are they the same, or?
Frontline Christian Fellowship started as a Bible study that me and my brother taught, and people would come, and with any Bible study, people came and people went. But IronKingz is more my baby. IronKingz is the heart of IronKingz is just a hardcore ministry for people who really want to grow in Christ and help bring others to Christ, using whatever medium we have to. And so that's what IronKingz is.
Now, is the initiation to be a part of IronKingz is you got to go see the midnight showing of whatever movie comes out?
You know, honestly, we don't do midnight showings like we used to, because now a lot of movie theaters, instead of having the midnight showing, they're having earlier showings, like at 7 or 8 or 9. And then people have to get up and go to work the next day.
But you will always be.
No, I'll always be. Yeah. I'm a diehard. So, no, that's not part of the initiation. But it really helps to show your dedication if you're willing to sit up and go to the late night movies. And then when you go to late night movies, you know, anybody who goes to a late night movie wants to be there.
Yeah.
So there's an energy and a connection there that you don't find when people are just going just to be going to see a movie.
Have you gone to one of the midnight showings and wish you hadn't have gone? Has it been a waste of time?
Yes, I just can't remember what movie it was. I went to a midnight showing, and the movie that I saw, and I can't remember what movie it was, it just was not good. And I was like, no, I could have stayed home for this. Yeah. I could have watched this on Netflix. Yeah.
But that doesn't happen very often.
Oh, no. Because see, when I go see a movie at midnight, or I go see a movie on the day it comes out, it's gotta be ironclad. You know, you got Avengers, Age of Ultron coming out May 1st. You got, you know, the next Star Wars movie coming out. Movies like that, no. They aren't going to drop the ball because the fan base is too big. Yeah. You know, so I'm ready, real ready to rock real steady on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
IMAX or 3D? Because the husband, he doesn't like all the bells and whistles, but you like the 3D, the IMAX, the big screen, the glasses and all that, or you just put the movie on the screen? I
love IMAX. Now, not every movie should be done in IMAX, but the big Michael Bay explosions and the Star Wars and the ships and the aliens, I want to see that in IMAX. And this is why. When I go to the movie, I'm not going to the movie just to see a movie. I'm going to have an experience.
Yeah.
And so when I leave, I want to feel like I've gone somewhere and come back. Okay. That's why not everybody can go to the movie with me. You know, if you're going to talk and play Pinchy Poo and stuff like that, no. No, because when I go, I've got to be focused.
Okay. Let's talk about Byron Shaffner. So you know you have videos on
yes.
on YouTube, and I saw that you put your video clips. Now listen, we're going to overlay this section right here with some of the videos and stuff that you did, because I'm glad that you put like your little sermonettes. Those are totally awesome, and they're very inspiring. So we're going to put a link and make sure you check those out to your YouTube page. But the one I'm talking about is where you smash the brick with your fist.
At my black belt test.
At your black belt test.
Yeah.
Are those really bricks?
That was 4 bricks, I believe.
4 bricks.
Yeah, it was 4.
How does that really happen? I mean, is there like some physics involved, or you have to get like a certain spot so that you don't break your hand? In
martial arts, we're taught not to hit the object, but to hit through it. So the day I was going to break those bricks, I was supposed to break 3. But on my way up to the bricks, my instructor said put 1 more on. So she just threw 1 in just to be crazy. But when I smashed those bricks, I wasn't trying to hit the bricks. I was trying to hit the floor. So the physics involved is to hit dead in the center. And you have to be trained too. You know, the push-ups and strengthening your wrists and all that stuff. But when I smashed those bricks, I wasn't trying to hit the bricks. I was trying to hit the floor. So that meant the bricks were just something to go through. And that's how we do it.
What about the sword wielding? You're wielding the sword like you're King Aragon in Return of the King, Lord of the Rings.
Well, when I did that, I was imagining I was like someone like that. And matter of fact, that sword, it looked real and it looked sharp. And I could still do it with a sharp one, but because of the test and just to be on the safe side, I got something that looked that real. But I still could do it with a real one. It just would have been a little bit slower because the real sword would have been heavier. But it did look good though.
Yeah, it looked great. And he had the yo.
And that was a long time ago too. So.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add? We're gonna wind down.
Anything that I would like to add?
Yeah.
Here's what I like to add. Listen, whether it's comics, cars, everybody has something that they like. But I just want to let you know this. No matter what you like, no matter what you do in life, don't put anything before God. There's nothing in your life that's greater than having a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. One day I'm going to die and I can't take none of this stuff with me. The same goes for you. And in life we prepare for many things, but are you preparing for eternity? Jesus said that he is the way, the truth, and the life. No person comes to the Father but by him. and therefore eternal life can only be found in Christ. So if you don't know Christ or are not following Christ, I really encourage you to make that decision today. That's it.
Who do you will your stuff to? Do you will it back to this place?
I've thought about that. If something happens to me, I've already started, not completely, I've already started making preparation and plans for different things to go to different people. Now there's some things that would just come back to this place because they would know exactly what to do with it. And then if Andy is the owner of the store, if he's still around, if I leave first, he'll give my family the best price. And then there are close friends who I know would really like some of the things that I have. And so I would make sure some of those things go to them. And as far as Kingdom is concerned, Kingdom's gonna go to my niece. Yeah.
Paige.
Paige.
Yeah.
Now I told Kingdom, you know, I really believe he and I are gonna be raptured out together. But if God has other plans, he'll go to my niece.
How can people get in touch with you and IronKingz Ministries?
You can look me up on YouTube, Byron C. Shaffner, B-Y-R-O-N, middle initial C, Shaffner, S-H-A-F-F-N-E-R. And my email is lionface07@yahoo.com. That's lionface, LIONFACE_07@yahoo.com. And you can contact me through either medium, and I promise I'll respond. Yeah.
So thank you. Once again.
Thank you so much. I've always wanted to do something like this.
Okay, this is great. So,
okay.
So that's it for our show, everybody. Thank you once again for another episode of Getting to Know, for watching the show. If you haven't already, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you or someone you know would like to participate in the Getting to Know series, email us at info@6manprod, or you can like our Facebook page, 6Man Prod. That's 6, like the number 6, TH, man, MAN, Prod. So see you next time. Bye.